had to use thinning shears on my hair. That's amazing. We've also received incredible feedback from you, our listening audience, and the impact it's had for you. This is loaded with astaxanthin. That's a powerful antioxidant. Collagen, but top grade collagen. Studies show 95% of it is being absorbed in the body because of the way they develop it. Then we have something called cat's claw. That's an anti-inflammatory from a vine in Peru. It's the bark, and it's an anti-inflammatory. There are about 80 clinical trials on Bella Grace. Please get a subscription now and save. MelissaHousebg.com.
Massive human trafficking. It's a record 288 people arrested.
They're not reporting the real numbers.
The numbers are segmented and they are fictitious.
I started my career in 1997 in the United States Border Patrol. It was one of the most violent times in recent Border Patrol history. I made my bones and my reputation on that border. I believe what is happening on the border today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
You have a Pentagon that has billions of dollars that they hide. We don't ask for any accounting of. They never pass an audit in the history of audits. I've often said the only way we're really going to get to the bottom of this is somebody's going to walk out of one of these labs with this information and puts it out on the internet before they commit suicide by shooting themselves in the back of the head 5 times.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
2.3 trillion with a T. The day before 9/11, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld declared war, not on foreign terrorists.
The adversary is closer to home. It's the Pentagon bureaucracy.
He said money wasted by the military poses a serious threat.
In fact, it could be said that it's a matter of...
Hey, welcome to Truth with J.J. Carrell. Our government is the enemy. $3 to $4 trillion gone? $2 to $3 trillion gone? What? The government is our enemy. You have been watching the last several days the government lose their mind. Why? Because Elon Musk is taking a team with an algorithm and they're rooting out all of the abuse, fraud, corruption. Can you imagine? I would be the very first. Can you imagine, let's say Biden and all his stupidity, all of it. He comes on and he hires Elon Musk and they root out trillions of dollars. Elon Musk is almost at $1 trillion to $2 trillion. His goal is $2 trillion. He roots out $2 trillion, slims down the federal government, makes it now very manageable. I would be the first guy, the very first guy to come on and go, I applaud that. I am all in. Great job, Joe Biden. Incredible job. I would be reporting on it just like I'm reporting now. Absolutely. But you know that's never going to happen. They all enriched themselves. They all became wealthy. Look, let's just make sure that we have an understanding of where we're going today in this episode. Congressmen and senators all make the same money as I made as a senior leader in the Border Patrol. Okay? 75 to 200,000, 175 to 200,000, somewhere in there as a senior leader, and then they get little bonuses or bumps, whatever committee they're on, right? It's a sham. Let's just say 200,000, okay? So after taxes, after mortgage, after children going to school, living expenses, vacations, whatever, let's just say you have 75,000 left over. I'm being generous. Let's say that you can save $20,000, which you can't live in New York, you can't live in Washington, D.C. and then have a house in San Francisco on $200,000. Just can't. You can't function. You can't function. So by me saying that you're going to be able to save $20,000 on top of your, it's called a thrift savings plan. That's our 401k in the federal government. It's called TSP. They're using the same thrift savings plan as I am. So if they could save another $20,000 a year, which I'm being so generous, but let's just say it, okay? Even with $20,000 a year saving, even if they have stock, insider stock trading, there's no way someone like Ben Crenshaw, AOC, or any one of these other junior Congress people that have come in with barely no equity, right? They didn't have any equity, very little bit. There's no way to turn $20,000 a year in savings into $5, $10, $15 million in 5 years. It's impossible. It just can't happen. It will not happen. It can't. So if you can't do that by insider trading, which they're all doing, and they're enriching themselves there, but how are they becoming millionaires in short time? Well, they're abusing U.S. aid and the federal government coffers. Absolutely, they are. I don't have it with me. I just saw it. There's a New Jersey, I think it's New Jersey or New York, somewhere on the East Coast, congressman. They just found $30 million in a Cayman Islands offshore account. Let me say that again. A congressman making $175,000 to $200,000 a year had $30 million in a tax shelter in the Cayman Islands or Caribbean Islands. You got a problem with that? The corruption is so big and so deep. Just like you see these memes. You want to know who is corrupt? Well, you just listen for the people that harp about slashing the government, slashing U.S. aid. U.S. aid just went from 14,000 employees to under 300. Let me say that again. You had 14,000 people working at U.S. aid with a $50 billion budget, and they just fired over 13,700. That's not even 2%. They barely kept 2% of their employees. What in the hell is going on in the federal government? I have a couple other clips that I want to play. We're just going to shotgun them one after another. Go ahead, Reagan. Can you show this one of this guy? How the hell did we get these presidents? Honestly, George Bush, W. Poor, dear God. Okay, go ahead and show him. He makes me sick.
Budget calls for more than $48 billion in new defense spending.
More money for the Pentagon when its own auditors admit the military cannot account for 25% of what it already spends.
Government has wasted nearly $3 trillion in taxpayer
money
since
$170 billion in improper payments last year.
$247 billion.
Billions blown on improper payments.
Made to people that should not have received them.
Overpayments, payments to the wrong recipient.
Dead people received more than $530 million last year in pension payments. Medicare paying $47 billion.
Hundreds of billions of dollars.
Medicaid improperly issuing $81 billion.
$644 million was fraud.
And $764 billion under 3 years of the Biden administration.
These improper payments have piled up to a total of $2.8 trillion.
$20 billion per month, or enough to pay for 5 years of U.S. foreign aid to all countries.
For every man, woman, and child across the country, it was $850.
Who is receiving these payments? Well, in some instances, dead people.
Simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills or bonds or other government guaranteed securities, and that actually increases the money supply. We also print actual currency, and we distribute that through the Federal Reserve banks.
I don't know if it's kickbacks or what's going on, but the people, look, I ran on this, and the people want me to find it. And I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it. But I told him do that. Then I'm going to tell him very soon, like maybe in 24 hours, to go check the Department of Education. He's going to find the same thing. Then I'm going to go to the military. Let's check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. And, you know, the people elected me on that.
Hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. So there must be arrests coming. You can't commit fraud without an arrest. It's a crime. Donald Trump does not fly off the handle as much as you think he does. He's not scripted, but he knows the words that he's saying. When you begin to understand that this fraud is crime, criminal, people are going to have to be arrested. And you don't siphon off hundreds of billions to $2 trillion by the end of Elon Musk going through without there being thousands of people involved. Thousands. Pam Bondi must have a cadre of U.S. attorneys that are just having sit down as Elon Musk goes through it and says, these are the 50, these are the 100, these are the 200 people involved in USAID. These are the thousands of NGOs that grifted us. Okay, start getting the arrest warrants ready. There is no other outcome. It's like when Donald Trump's having the interview with Sean Hannity last week. And Donald Trump gets asked a question about the border. And Sean Hannity says, well, what do you think about it? And he says, well, there's only two explanations. The first explanation is they're just stupid. And he says they're not. Trump says they are, being the left, Biden and Kamala and Mayorkas, they're not stupid. And Trump said that leaves only one other explanation, is they hate America. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm listening very carefully. They hate America, meaning Trump just admitted in order for 30 million people to cross the border in 4 years, that only could have happened if someone hated America. Therefore, their policies, their decisions were intentional. If you go one step further from the intentionality, strategic, and purposeful, hate-filled decisions against your country, that is treason. So someone's going to have to be arrested, or this is just hot air. I was on a podcast with the Alpha Warrior. Great guy. We're going to have him on Wednesday because his story is riveting. And he said something to me that made great sense. We're talking about pending arrest. Has to happen. He agreed it has to happen. But it can't happen. It cannot happen unless or until Donald Trump has all his pieces in place in the law enforcement, the DOJ, DHS, HHS, all that. Because that's when he's going to get two things. He's going to get all the evidence, and then he's going to have all the people in position to make these arrests so it can't be sabotaged. Current historians are going to excoriate Trump. They're going to call him a dictator. They're going to call him everything under the book, under the moon and the stars, and it's going to be negative. 100 years from now, historians are going to look back and they're going to say this was a giant of presidents. He did what had to be done, and what he had to do was Herculean, was hard, was almost improbable to even discuss. You have USAID where the former administration, Biden administration, paid over 6,000 journalists to spread propaganda. They paid over 700 news organizations to spread propaganda. We are now beginning to see quite a few conservative outlets and conservative personalities that look like they took money from USAID. And they're stating that, well, I didn't take it from USAID. I took it from this other company, and I didn't know that it was coming from USAID. Of course you did. USAID laundered the money to you, and you're so gullible you took it. Why are you taking money from the government? Maybe that's the biggest question. You didn't know it's USAID? Maybe I'll give you a mulligan. Why did you take money from the government? I didn't take any money from the government. Brandon House didn't take any money. Worldview Tube hasn't taken any money. Why did you take money? Now you went and unleveled the playing field. You're no better than Politico. I don't care if you didn't take $8 million. Maybe you took 50,000, 35,000, 100,000. Enough for you to get 2 editors. Well, now the playing field is uneven through corruption, through payments. And what were you told to do upon receipt of that money? There's no money is free. It may be free, meaning you're not going to pay it back, but you're going to pay me with something. You're going to pay me with stories. There are several conservative people that I have seen on these sites. I won't say it right now because I don't have verification, but man almighty, if they are true, that is going to really hurt them. I will never trust anything they ever say ever again. Maybe they don't care, but they will be forever tarnished because they took money from the government while you told us how bad the government was, how evil it was, and yet you enriched yourself. I don't care if it's $1,000 or $1 million, you did it. There are leaks going on throughout the government. The biggest leak this weekend was an ICE raid, a coming ICE raid in the city of Los Angeles. It was supposed to be massive. So for everyone to understand, FBI agents, HSI agents, ICE agents, Border Patrol agents, DEA, ATF, state and local are all being used under a task force to go and eradicate these cities of the worst, as they like to say. LA probably has easily 1 million illegal aliens, easily 1 million. And out of those 1 million, I would say the vast majority have a criminal history. A vast majority. Outside of it, they all have a criminal history under immigration law, illegally being in the country. But outside of immigration violations against the law, they're the worst of the worst. And what happened this weekend? There was a leak in this task force, and leaked it to the press and to other people that could spread the word to the gang members, the terrorists, and the PLA soldiers, and the worst of the worst in LA. And Kristi Noem, just by her words, must have been able to trace that back to the FBI. Kristi Noem put out a tweet. I can't remember if I saw it late last night or early this morning. And she started her tweet with these words. Think about this. Is the Secretary of DHS, not the governor of South Dakota, not a bystander, not someone in mid-management in DHS. This is Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, stated the FBI is so corrupt. Whoa. Behind scenes, behind the curtain, federal law enforcement, there's rivalries. We all, like the DEA likes to poach off of Border Patrol drugs, ATF and DA have issues, but it's all kind of like, all right, we're all together, but behind the curtains, I don't really dig you that much and you don't dig me, but we all of us despise the FBI. All of us. And then let me tell you what that leak did, because I did this. You're going into the worst of the worst areas in Los Angeles to get bad guys. And the FBI tipped them off. So we call it a fatal funnel, meaning I'm going into an apartment complex. I'm going into a multi-layered story apartment complex. I'm walking down the hallway of a you ever walk down a long hallway in a hotel? It's kind of, even though you're just a tourist, you know nothing's going to happen, it's still a little eerie, right? You're just like, dang, this is weird. It's a long hallway. What if someone comes out of that room that's really, you don't even have any shoulder length width really to walk by? Now imagine going down that hallway and you're going after this hardcore banger that's had violence against police officers, killed people, child rapist, soldiers, known terrorist, and you're walking down that hallway and you're like, damn, this hallway is about 100 yards long. And you're walking and you're walking and you're like, if anyone sticks their head out there, they can just put the rifle out and just start just shooting randomly, spraying the hallway. They're going to hit me. They're going to hit me. There's no way around it. A bullet's going to hit me. Where is it going to hit me? And your heart is pounding and you're pumped up and you're trying to get there as fast as you can without making any noise. And the FBI tipped them off. They're either not there or they're waiting on you. They couldn't get out in time and they're waiting on you. I want those FBI agents, I want them stripped of everything they have. I want their pensions gone. I want their careers over, and then I want their asses in jail. All of them. I don't care if it's 5, 10, 100 of them. I want them all gone. And I will make this prediction. I don't know who they are, but they're going to root them out. I will bet you a month's salary they're going to arrest FBI agents that have never, ever, ever done the job. Meaning they never made an arrest their whole entire life, ever. How do I know this? Because I did this for a living. And those kind of pogues, those gutless bastards in administration that have never done the job. They didn't do it when they were a rookie. They sure in the hell didn't do it when they were a senior or a journeyman and then a senior agent. Never, ever, ever. They stayed in administration and they like to pontificate from there, from the safety of their office. That is who tipped them off. I will guarantee you. And they need Pam Bondi's come out and said, we will find them and we will root them out. And again, I'm going to quote the Secretary of DHS calling out the FBI and stating with a blanket statement, quote, the FBI is so corrupt. I read that and I was like, let me verify this. Maybe this is her tweet, but someone cut it, right? Someone retweeted. I was like, let me go back to the source, make sure I got this right. Yep, she just said the FBI is so corrupt. Wow. Wow. Our sponsors that keep us up and running. We're not getting any money from USAID. I didn't get $35,000 like some conservatives. I didn't get $8 million. If you gave me $8 million from USAID, I promise you, I would already have at least 1 million followers because I would be able to utilize that money to hire 3, 4, 5 editors and producers. I would be cutting shows nonstop. I would have a steady income. So they did Pravda, Russian Pravda in America. I don't know if anyone's going to pay that price. That's treason. All those journalists need to be named, shamed, and then kicked out of their profession. So the way we stay on the air and able to bring you content where you know that I'm speaking the truth is through our sponsors. The first sponsor I want to talk about is Pet Club 24/7. You can go to Truth with JJ 247.com. Pets, horses, and humans. A special mushroom in Japan that they have access to. They put it in lotions. They put it in dog treats. They put it in capsule form for humans to take. I take it every day. I call it the green bottle. And Alpha Warrior swears by the blue bottle. I ordered it. I'm waiting for it to come, and it's for clarity. And he swears by it. He absolutely swears by it. I have Mojos. I gave my little cinnamon Mojos before I came on because it helps her immune system. It's all about the immune system. You've heard me talk about this. Talk about someone's corrupt. Anthony Fauci, Saint Fauci, that created the pandemic, actually funded the Wuhan lab to create a COVID, and my immune system is absolutely shot. When I get a cold or get cough, it lasts for months because my lungs have been destroyed by COVID, and my immune system is horrific. So I use Pet Club 24/7 because it's all about your immune system and your pets. Go on their website. Why I love their website too is they can show you, talk about the over 400 peer-reviewed articles on the well-being of your dogs and your cats, your pets. And it's good for humans as well. Do I have the commercial? Do you have the commercial, Reagan? All right, let's play the commercial. It's about 30, 40 seconds long, but it's absolutely worth it because this is a great company run by great people. Go ahead. Pet Club 24/7. The owners, Kurt and Kristen, incredible, God-fearing. They believe that God didn't create Moderna and Pfizer. Everything we need is here on earth. Go to truthwithjj247.com, truthwithjj247. And the second sponsor I like to talk about is sat123.com, sat123.com/JJ. Everything that you need to be prepared for chaos happening in your life because of the government is in this website. Not only that, everything you need to be prepared for if the grid goes down, for whatever reason, there's a fire. You can't get a hold of your son or daughter as they're in school and the towers are down, or you live in rural areas. Well, you can get a sat phone, or you can get a bivy, a BIVY, attached just to your cell phone. It goes off the towers, the satellites. So now you have access. This is a great American company. I always brag, my son is probably the only kid in school that has a ballistic backpack. Actually, a ballistic shield inside his backpack so that he can cover his vital organs if there's a shooting. Incredible. Incredible that the world we live in makes me have to do this. However, I digress. Thank goodness there's a company that does this, that has these products. I will say this about sat123.com, which is great. You go on their website, like I am not a technological person. Right before I came on, between one of our clips, Reagan came on in my ear and said, "Hey, your picture's gone." I'm like, "Oh no, oh my, how am I?" And I just like, okay, I clicked the wrong button. But normally that would throw me into a tizzy trying to figure out what just happened. But when I go on sat123.com and I buy something or I want to learn about something, how am I going to use it? How am I going to program it? They have videos, step-by-step videos. It's incredible. Go to sat123.com. Now, I had a great interview today. Incredible interview. When you meet someone and you're like, that guy is just a good dude. Like, his story's great and he's doing great work, but he's just a good dude, man. And it's rare in today's world. And I talked to him about this in our interview today. I talked to him about how does he have so much joy? And how are you so positive? Because I think that's a character flaw that I used to be extremely, extremely optimistic. Like my father. My father was, hey, tomorrow's going to be a better day. Let's just keep going. I believe that, but I'm more of a realist like my mom now. My mom was an Irish business woman, hustler. Great mom, six kids. She was a mom first before anything else. And as I go through law enforcement or been through law enforcement and I write books and do documentaries, it's absolutely, I'm a stone cold realist now. I believe I see things very clearly. And when I see things the way I do, I have hope, but I don't have a lot of optimism. I have more now that Trump's in. I have great optimism that things are changing at an incredible pace. But men like this guy, Glenn Baker, he's just positive. Like he has great faith, and he believes that God is going to deliver him to the next goal that he wants him to do. Who is Glenn Baker? We interviewed him last week. Maybe some of you saw him on our show. But I interviewed him for an hour and a half today. This is a man that got arrested and was spent 73 days in jail. Took him over a week or two to get an attorney. Had no idea why he was arrested. No one could tell him. It was an out-of-state warrant where they had no evidence. And it was a former business partner that basically wrote a bad check or took some money and didn't provide the services. And it came back on Glenn. Glenn didn't even own the business. But it was a wake-up call to Glenn about the abuses of the government. And God told him, hey, I want you to do a documentary. And he's like, I have never done a documentary in my life. What? And he said, as he said, God said, you heard me. And he went and did a documentary called Finish This Fight, finishthisfight.us. And I've seen it. It's excellent, excellent documentary. And the subtitle is The Diary of a Pissed Off American Soldier. And he has some incredible guests, Alan West, Chad Prather, Ivan Rakin, a couple other people that I'm like, wow, those are really big names that you got in here, conservative big names. Wow, incredible. So I asked him, because I met him on a podcast, gosh, it has to be about 4 months now, before I even put out my documentary. So yeah, 4 or 5 months. And we just kind of hit it off. I was like, this guy he's a good dude. He's the kind of guy I'd like to go have a drink with and become friends with, because he's so positive. He's just positive, optimistic, incredible belief that tomorrow's going to be an even better day. And if it's not, it's a reason why it's not, and he's going to embrace it. I find that fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I don't possess that. I'm working on it, but I don't possess it. And I thought, man, my audience needs a long form interview with this guy to just hear his story. His story is fascinating. So we interviewed him today. We're going to put it on the vault. It will be, I think Logan's going to have it ready for Thursday. I believe Thursday. And that's a way to support us. Go to worldview2.com/JJ. Once you get in the vault, you get into everyone's material. But for mine, I have long form interviews, anywhere from an hour and a half, hour to almost 3 hour interviews. And then every day I put something in the vault, and it's a daily current event that I talk about, 5, 10, 15 minutes, and I give you a really hot take of what I believe is going on. But I want to give you a sample of our interview today with Glenn Baker that had created the documentary. You can find it at finishthisfight.us.
But until I was arrested and spent 73 days in a jail without any evidence that I'd done anything, that can change your perspective. And at that point, I realized that this is not the country that I fought for. And that's what woke me up, if you will, to start paying attention deeper than just what they wanted me to hear. And then I got to researching some other things that were taking place that I didn't know about, and learned about a lady named Judith Baker that was the fiance of not John Wilkes Booth, the JFK guy. Always get them mixed up.
John Wilkes Booth. No,
the other one, the one that was supposed to, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald. Yep, I saw that documentary. Incredible.
Yeah. So she called me up the other day, like a month or two ago, and I learned about her. And she was Lee Harvey Oswald's lover when that took place. And
incredible story. Incredible story.
She's got the evidence that the guy wasn't even involved, you know? So I started seeing these things that people had brought out, in the past that I thought they were crazy. Well, now I'm the one bringing up stuff that people think I'm crazy. But there's so much truth out there that we've been lied to about everything, JJ. And when I say everything, I mean we've been lied to about almost everything.
Yeah,
and,
everything. I think you can go through your life, whatever segment, could be religion, education, monetary, business, anything. Nothing is 100% on the up and up. All of it's shady. Great interview with this guy. You want to hear just a different take on what we're talking about today. Just a different, not far off different than what we're talking about, but the presentation of how he talks and speaks. This is a man that should be raging mad, angry when you hear his story. And he's like, nope, God told me in prison, God told me he's going to use me. Just trust him. And he trusted him. That's powerful, man. That's faith. That's someone to look up to admire. I admire him. I like him. I think he's a great, great guy. He's going to be in the vault. I'm interviewing Ann Vanderstill on Wednesday. And Ann's going to give us a PhD on why you don't have to pay federal income tax. And she's right. I've done enough research on this. She's right. And I asked her, can you walk my audience through this slowly, piece by piece? Tell us how as other individuals that I highly respect have told me the same thing. My CPA looked into it and she was astounded. She goes, I'm still looking for the law that makes you have to pay, JJ. Wow. Have we been told the truth about anything? About anything? And the answer is no. And I keep coming back to this. The people that are leading us. I believe the vast majority of the congressmen and senators, and at the time was president and vice president, are some of the dumbest people in our population. I believe that. I just believe it in my core. I experienced that when I testified in front of Congress. I just looked up there and I just could not believe they were in a position of authority and I was sitting below them because they're that stupid. And I believe there is a small, small minority of those people that run everything. Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, John McCain, Lindsey Graham types. Hakeem Jeffries the minority leader in the House, he's a moron. He has no idea what's going on. So I went through and I just was looking at this show and I was like, you know what? I'm going to circle back, as Jen Penske used to say. I want to circle back and I want to show these people. Let's just go through some of them. And I want you to understand when you're watching this, these are the people that are making monetary decisions that affect your 401k, that affect everything about your money and the way you live, how much money's being printed. As I played that clip from the Fed chair, I think it's Powell, And he just was like, yeah, this digital currency, we just create it. What? Yeah, we just create it. Sometimes we just do it on a computer. And other times we'll actually print currency. Yeah, we just print it out of thin air. Not even embarrassed, not ashamed, not trying to couch it in any particular frame. Just straight out in your face. Yeah, we just print it. How that doesn't make you infuriated, I don't know. I don't know. You have to diversify your money. You have to. I don't care who you use. I use Swiss American Precious Metals. I call Wes Stevens. It's Wes Stevens, excuse me. Is a guy who used to be named Wes Stevens, used to work for me in the Border Patrol. Wes Peters. Wes Peters. You can call him at the number. It's on the bottom third. And he won't hustle you. He won't ask you. He's not going to sell you gold bricks like you're Mendez from New Jersey, and you're going to have the feds raid you and then put you in jail for 11 years. No, it's not going to happen. He's going to just send you pamphlet. Then you guys can talk at your leisure about what you need. Wes Peters at Swiss America Precious Metals. And I'm going to bring in the very first politician and understand that this actress, she auditioned for this role. It's already been outed. People auditioned to be the congressperson for this district, and this imbecile won the competition. Can you imagine who didn't win? Let's listen to the intellect of AOC.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV.
She's talking about Elon Musk. Is one of the dumbest billionaires she's ever met. Let that sink in for a second. Elon Musk sending rockets into space and coming back down, created PayPal, created Tesla, or bought Tesla and created it into this monster. I don't care about electric vehicles. I think they're an absolute waste. The problems that they're going to cause us, they've already caused us in ecological damage to the Mother Earth, as well as what are you going to do with all the batteries? I mean, and all the subsidies from the federal government. No. That being aside, he's created businesses that have thrived. I'm not knocking AOC. She's a bartender. I'm not knocking it. That's an honest day's living. Not knocking it. But I don't need some dim-witted bartender talking about a guy that employs thousands of people. The guy that is going through with a team of engineers and coders and going through the federal government and eradicating $2 trillion. And you have to listen to this stupid bag of air. And every time I see her, I think she has authority over me. She's making decision that has direct impact on my life. How, in any realm of reality, should that happen? And I come back to, we don't live in the realm of reality. We live in an alternative universe right now in America. I truly believe that. There's no way in a rational, sane, just world that she makes more than $6 an hour. No, I don't believe it. Talking about someone that is utterly stupid, and she is the poster child for deep state, meaning somebody is a puppeteer pulling her strings, because she is she's dumber than AOC. I'm just going to say it. At least AOC some days is okay, easy on the eyes. This woman is just, can you even imagine even having coffee with the senator from Hawaii? Maisie. I call her Maisie stupid. She's the dumbest chick in the Senate. Go ahead and play this Wonder Bean.
These are scary times. And then to find out, they talk about, oh, we're so concerned about the FBI and the DOJ having been weaponized during the Biden years. If anybody is weaponizing these two agencies, it's the people who are about to take over. And I note that the Pam Bondi, she just created a weaponizing task force. What the heck is that?
I don't know, Maisie. I don't know. I don't know what a weaponizing task force is. I have no idea. I just look at you and I think you are the dumbest person in the Senate. I think when Fetterman had his stroke, he had a higher level of critical thinking than you did, or you do. You're an abomination. The idea that anyone has to be held accountable by you, it's maddening. When I was being questioned by congresswomen that didn't even know how to use the English language correctly, that she needed to ask me a question. And then I'm being questioned by another lady that looks like she just came from the state fair and put on those giant yellow glasses, the Tweety Bird glasses, but hers were red. And then I had to be talked down to by an illegal alien from Guatemala, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez from Guatemala, national from Guatemala. Unbelievable. I think this next person is stupid. I do. But not that dumb. She's abrasive. She's not dumb enough to not become a multimillionaire. Again, this woman makes $175,000 a year, and she lives in a Bel Air mansion outside of her district. That's about $4.3 million. Now, how does $175,000 cover a $4.3 million note on a house? This, I'm speaking of Maxine Mad Max Waters, as she berates. She's a sitting congresswoman for about 30 plus years. This poor guy is a security guard, not allowing her into the Department of Education. But just listen to how inane she is, and think that she is making monetary decisions on your life. She's trying to pass laws that have direct impact on your lives. Go ahead and play Maxine Waters.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Showed you the ID. I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. I haven't seen it. They didn't see it.
Our founding fathers are rolling over in their grave. The greatest nation ever created. And there is an old woman in her, I think she's late 70s, early 80s, with a stupid wig on her head, with painted on eyebrows. She looks like, she doesn't even look real. Is she a human? I don't know. Where's your ID? Let me see your, can someone else ask him where the ID is? Can you imagine having to sit there and have the restraint that guy had? I mean, if it was me, it would take everything in me to rip her wig off. I swear to you. If I ever come in contact with her, I think the wig's coming off. I just do. Now, we can't stay just on the Democrats. And this guy's not dumb. He's dumb now because his family and his colleagues, John Thune and all the other beta male rhinos, have allowed this man to stroke out over and over and over and over again and never be hospitalized. And he is now in no brain function. I'm talking about Mitch McConnell. Have you seen this latest of Mitch McConnell walking to a podium where there's an enormous amount of steps? Yeah, there were one step. One step. Couldn't do it because he's a senile old man that is stroked out. Watch this. Yeah, it's a big step. It's one step, you Nimrod. Why is he in any position of authority? Can anyone explain that to me? We have an 80-year-old woman with a wig on. We have AOC that should just get me a gin and tonic and shut up. We got this idiot, McConnell, that strokes out, literally has strokes in front of us, and they don't even move. Like if your father was having a stroke or your grandfather was having a stroke, you would call 911, sit your grandfather down. It's okay. You pet his hand, make sure he knows, hey, we're here for you. I know you're confused. We're going to take care of you. Nope. They just stand there and look at him. Don't worry. We've seen this before. He'll be fine. His brain's being scrambled, but don't worry. Don't worry. He's in charge of all the money for the Republican senators. We just need to keep him alive to keep milking this idiot. Now let's take a look at this LaMonica McIver from New Jersey and listen to this vile rhetoric.
We will not take this. We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and God damn it, shut down the Senate. Anytime a person can pay $250 million into a campaign and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury of the United States of America, we are at war.
I hope we're at war. I do. And I hope God uses me as an instrument. I really do. These people are evil. Worse than evil, right? Worse than evil is arrogant and stupid evil. And these people fit the mold for arrogant, stupid evil. And that woman screaming into the microphone. Ma'am, the microphone is there to amplify your voice. You don't need to scream. And let's finalize this tutorial of stupidity with Greg, I think it's Cesar or Kazar. Let's listen to this guy talk about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk crashes and breaks everything he buys. He thinks he can buy our government. We cannot allow him to crash and break our air traffic control system. Look at what happened when he bought Twitter. It just started crashing. Again, not a big deal if your app doesn't open one day. It is a really big deal if Americans don't know whether or not their air safety is protected. So this is, again, another instance where Elon Musk thinks he knows better than everybody else in the world. But in fact, he doesn't know anything about how to make sure air traffic control works. He doesn't know anything about how to make sure that our Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid payments get out to folks on time. He just knows that he wants to find a way to make money off of this at the expense of other people's safety.
From the great state of Texas. How you doing, Texans? Happy, proud of that? Everything Elon Musk touches crashes and burns and fails. I don't think so. I don't think you become the richest man or one of the richest men on planet Earth what everything you touch fails. I don't think it works that way, Greg. He spent $40 billion to buy Twitter, cannibalized it, and made it more efficient, and now it's probably worth $100 billion beyond. PayPal made $140 million, his cut, 140 million, something like that. Tesla's worth billions. What I do know that doesn't work, Greg, is Social Security doesn't work. Medicare doesn't work. And your air traffic controllers that you hired that have severe mental deficiencies and severe physical ailments is not working very well either, Greg. You Democrats and you rhinos, but mainly the Democrats, are some of the dumbest people in our population, period. Period. Talking about people that don't like us. All the corporations that sell you things, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Verizon, now Costco with DEI, insanity. You keep spending money, I keep spending money on corporations that hate me, that hate what I believe in, mock my faith, mock my beliefs, and yet I keep paying them. And then they keep taking my money and getting bigger and stronger, and then they pay and fund organizations that hate me. Why do I keep doing that? And the answer is, for a while, I don't have anywhere else to shop. I do now. I go to patriotsmade.com. patriotsmade.com/JJ. And that will direct you to organizations, companies that sell American-made, non-toxin items, over 400 items. Like I told my wife when we made the switch, I said, honey, we're not going to Costco and spend $600 and then go to American-made and spend another $600. We're going to take about $350 out of the $600 and get exactly the same amount of stuff, but from people that love what we believe in, that love America, from an organization, a company that is run here in America, made in America, and we're going to get more of it for cheaper with a better quality. I'm not going to put lotions on my arm or my legs or my son's arms and legs or wife that has metals in it. I'm not going to buy meat that I don't know where the hell it came from. mRNA, antibiotics, steroids, what? So I go to Patriots Made, Patriots with an S, made.com/JJ. And I spend my money with people that respect me, respect what I believe in. The show's going fast. I got 2 minutes left, Reagan. Holy smokes. I always think it's a good show when I don't. I'm surprised when I look at it, at the clock, and I go, holy smokes. I want to show, can we skip to this one? I want to show what winning looks like for the border. This is a video of a plane landing in El Salvador, and they're deporting all of the El Salvadorians here in the country illegally. They landed in El Salvador today. Can you play this one?
Mi gente, por ahí andan las noticias que según quieren deportar a toda la raza trabajadora y les hicimos este corrido, compa Kevin.
Para que le pongan oídos dice más o menos así, compadre. Años tengo trabajando de este lado, buscando el mentado sueño americano.
Los gringos aquí ya no nos quieren, que según les estorbamos.
Se menciona mucho en los noticieros, traen muchos del gobierno.
Resulta.
Oh, I can't stand that music. I started to get a headache. I just like, Reagan, please stop it. We're winning. We're winning. We're winning. We're winning. We're getting great momentum. Keep it up. And finally, I want to just say before I log off tonight, please go to givesendgo.com/JJ Carrell. Givesendgo.com/JJ Carrell. That helps me to continue to interview and pay for production of interviews like I did today with Glenn Baker, what I'm going to do with Ann Vandersteel on Wednesday. It just helps. It supports our show and helps me be able to get out there and tell the truth, because we are winning, and we're winning because we are able to spread the truth as it should be, not the propaganda, lies, but the truth with JJ. Thank you. Have a great night.